This is a digital reconstruction of the Northwest Palace of Nimrud in Nimrud, Assyria. This is the way it looked back in 2014. Sadly, now it's been occupied and pretty much destroyed and defaced by ISIS. It should have been stopped, but regardless of that, this is a digital reconstruction done by the Met Museum here off of the way it looked. And this is a aerial photograph of the way that it looked then. I'd like to mention the farmlands that are out here were farmlands that were apparently being used back as far as some 7,000 years ago from now. And this is recreating a time of Ashurbanipal, famous in the Bible. There would have been a wall there. The Euphrates runs right up against it on this side. And supposedly there was a waterway that ran through the town itself. Looking at this palace, here was the entrance into the palace complex, one of only a few. And then there were guarded areas that were more and more guarded all the way through to the point that you would actually meet the king. So it was a series of higher and hierarchies. One thing neat about this I'd like to mention is one of these entrance statuaries that are right there we're going by, or in my other video where I talked about the difficulty of actually moving these things in ancient time. The wall reliefs here showing signs of war and meeting people and hunting. And indeed, they have that Sumerian iconography that was taken and adopted by them. The king would have had his meeting throne at the end there. And that, I believe, is the Lama Su right there that actually was taken here. Now, neat thing on this wall here, these top reliefs that you see are actually a Phoenician ideogram. Been shown in a lot of Phoenician art, so it might show you that there was some trade even from back then, or perhaps a connection when they take things like this. Now, they did a digital analysis of the pigments and reveals the original painted colors of these things, and that they were actually painted in old times. And they had a red ochre, a bluish green color, a lighter brown or tan type color, and then even a light tan for the skin on them. They also had whitewashed areas where it would have been actually a lime or a whitewash done to it. The sandals even painted in elder times. And you see these depictions where it shows people holding their hands up like this. I don't know if you can really make it out in there. It's always moving to speak, a gesture moving to speak. Usually they would tuck this hand below that elbow and they would move to speak. Knowledge is being imparted, and there's always this pine cone that's shown that goes with it. Well, let's go back here into the king's final chambers here back in the back, and he would have had a huge room area here that he had. A meeting place, a secondary antechamber that show a lot of the reliefs that are there. Again, from Ashurbanipal. This is the way that they're depicting it around on the walls here, but this place was here at one time, but again, gone in antiquity. This leads to an inner courtyard that serves as private quarters of the palace alone. And so he had his own little private courtyard. And again, now we're back to where we were. And this Lama Su, or winged guardian figures, one of which is now on display at the Met itself. Kind of a neat reconstruction and a look at it. It's from a palace and a place that's no longer in existence. Something we did have archaeological reference to shortly ago, but sadly now gone. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Enjoy.